Andrew, you want to introduce this one?
Yeah, so I was just watching stuff on YouTube, and this commercial just recently kept popping up before everything I was watching. It's called the X3 bar, and I just thought it was kind of interesting, and thought we would give our opinion on it.
Cool. Let's roll. I have seen this, but I haven't watched the full commercial, so we'll just go through and see what's up. That angle confused the shit out of me. I thought they were on the ground. I was like, that is a really weird.
So basically, you have a bar with like hooks on it to attach bands that we use in here.
Yeah. Oh,
And it's kind of, I mean, the first reaction is, I mean, all this stuff is like, okay, it's not horrendous. It's not like that. It's not like a shake weight or some crazy like nonsensical tool. But my first reaction is how boring this would probably get, and how range of motion is probably going to suffer a lot, and probably discomfort a little bit in utilizing these bands. Discomfort's not a huge thing, but
Sure.
discomfort wrapping the bands around your back and all this stuff.
So when you say range of motion suffer, which one do you think in particular?
I think they offer different bands, but it looks like when they bench press, they pretty much bottom out once they're maybe 3 inches away.
Oh, because there's no more resistance on the band?
Yeah, the band just goes into slack.
Okay.
And squat as well. I mean, so they basically then you have accommodating resistance the entire time during like a larger motion movement, like a squat. So on the bottom, it's gonna be super easy, and at the top, it's gonna be super hard, which is good, but that kind of has a time and place. We don't always want accommodating resistance. Sometimes we want to handle an absolute load throughout the entire range of motion, which is a barbell.
Right.
And then another thing on top of this, and I'll let you say something, Eric, is it's fairly expensive. I mean, this basically costs, it's way more portable than a barbell and plates 100%, but it's $500.
Yeah.
That is a cheaper barbell and maybe 200 pounds worth of weights if you bought them used or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the whole thing, so...
Sure. The
Yeah,
guy's
it's fairly-
freaking jacked.
Well,
Jacked from doing deadlifts with a barbell.
so that's the thing is, so first of all, you see the testimonies and stuff, and you see all these things where it's like, oh, I gained 6 pounds of muscle in 12 weeks. It's like, okay, maybe. I just have a hard time buying that. I mean, if somebody came from a completely untrained state and did this exclusively for 12 weeks, maybe. But for a trained person to put on 6 pounds of muscle with this as the intervention, I think would be...
If you were trained to put on 6 pounds of muscle, you have to be lifting some heavy ass weights too, for max reps. So these bands, this guy looks strong as shit. I'm sure he can deadlift more than a black band. I'm sure his deadlifts are probably there's probably numbers on his deadlift because he's probably a former powerlifter. He's probably deadlifting in the 600-700 pounds. So this band for set to 20 is not really going to promote a bunch of hypertrophy for someone like him.
No. It seems to encourage, while watching this, somewhat awkward motor pathways as well. So the weight, I mean, technically the fixed point on, the weights is behind his neck, right? So he's pulling from an angle back here, whereas just about any other thing, like if this was a cable pulley, you'd be pulling from, instead of pulling like this way away from my body, I'm typically pulling down in this way, like it's the object is away from my body. Or if I'm using a dumbbell, it just... Maybe that doesn't matter to some extent, but it seems like it's necessarily putting you in a position where the load is tied to your body, which seems awkward for a lot of things.
100%, and that will ranges of motion will suffer based on what you're trying to do. So if I am doing like an elbow extension with a cable, pulling into my body, I can reach terminal extension, no big deal. Out here, I would have to reach terminal extension way out front, which is kind of going to mimic more of like a close grip bench press or something like that, as it will compared to just isolating elbow extension.
And so, well, and I think that goes backwards to, what is their claim? I'm actually not, I didn't see any words beginning to lead. What is the claim? Is the claim you don't need any other gym? Like, well, that's a pretty bold claim. Or 10 minutes a day. Oh, I mean, come on. The 10 minutes a day thing harkens back to this idea of like, you can accomplish something hard with something easy. And it's like, no, you can't work out for 10 minutes a day. You can't gain gains in 10 minutes a day. Like that's enough. If we're talking about like true maximum effort, like you're either talking about a WOD, which is conditioning, or you're talking about, true maximum effort. What can you get in? 4 sets in 10 minutes?
Yeah, hopefully you warm up or something.
Maybe. So the idea that you're gonna become big and jacked like this dude on 10 minutes a day is, well, that's kind of patently laughable. But if the claim is like, this would fit nicely in a suitcase, if the claim is like, hey, you're going to be on the road for a couple of days out of the week and you just want to hit buys, tries, and get some kind of what seems like maybe weird deadlifts, sure. If it wasn't $500, I'd probably get one just because it's like, well, shit, when I do travel and I don't have access to a CrossFit gym or a hotel gym, this looks pretty decent. I mean, it looks hard, for sure. But I think it's, man, to use this as a representative physique of what could be achieved by using that band system is like, that's pretty misleading.
I think if they sold it as a $200, you head out to the beach, put it in your trunk, and you get a pump on right before you hit the beach, they'd be like, oh, that's actually like realistic. That seems like maybe a kind of a cool thing. You get pumped up, then you go show everyone how pumped you are. And it's portable to do that. But at the same time, so a lot of these movements, if we brought a green band and a black band, you could do banded good mornings, you could do banded curls, you could do pretty much all these movements. Pressing may be a little weird, but you could do like a banded push-up. You could do these movements without that extra bar and that platform that costs $500.
That's actually true. I mean, we program a lot of that stuff. So banded curls, banded tricep extensions, you can go pull aparts, you can go band shoulder tees to get some shoulder engagement, you can go good mornings. So with two bands, like a really skinny band and then a medium band, which cost, I mean, what do those things cost? Was that going to be like $30?
Yeah, I think like $35 for
I think you could probably get 85% of the benefit of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, deadlift, not really. Yeah, what were some of the other things? What were they doing?
You did a front squat.
A front squat. I'm not convinced that you'd actually want a front squat like that. Right. Well, the range of motion and the movement pattern just seems so bizarre. So if I was using this as an analog for my front squat, I think I'd be a little I think I'd be a little disappointed. And so you got to kind of like pick your poison with these things. So okay, honestly at this point, like what's the point of the front squat? Just do the back squat version. Right? Like I'm like, do you have to load it in the front? I mean, that would be kind of a weird thing. So for me, these things always boil down to this. What are the claims? Are the claims congruent? So I think we've identified at least 3 things where you're like, oh, dude, you're promising way too much.
Yeah.
And then could those claims be manageable if you tapered them down to like, hey, this is great to fit in a suitcase. This is good for travel. This is good for getting just basic kind of like limb hypertrophy training. I don't know if deadlift training is really outstanding here. Just buys and tries, and you could probably get some pushing and some, just kind of the basics. Cool. And if it was positioned as that, they'd probably sell a lot less, but at least they'd be intellectually honest with the thing. So,
yeah, kind of in short, it's not. These things aren't bad. It is kind of a weird thing to if you made this your only mode of fitness, that would be pretty wacky. But for like a portable fitness tool,
yeah,
it's not too bad. You pack that with like an ab wheel,
yeah,
you're money.
It's a good idea, and it legitimately looks hard, and it legitimately looks like you could impact yourself in some meaningful way, but the claims just seem like kind of over the top. I mean, 10 minutes, packing on muscle.
Yeah.
The last dollar of fitness you'll ever need. Like, I think you were saying before we made this, like you'd need a fucking mind of steel to do this every day for the next 30 years.
Oh, it's so boring.
I mean, come on now. Yeah. Okay. Hey, if somebody's got $500 to spend, I would love to try one. I won't be buying one, so just throwing it out there. Anything else? Final words. We should get some of these things sometime, but we need like
we're getting pricey now.
We need like a throwaway budget.
At least the shake weight is like, what is it, $50?
Cheap. Yep. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully that was useful. Hopefully you see the X3 and you have some critical thoughts about it. Let us know what you think. Throw a comment in there. Share your experience if you happen to have one. And thanks for watching.